Hello people, in this video let us look at this solved question papers of ophthalmology. This is usually for the RGUHS students. So all the previous year question papers will be solved in this. It's kind of handy book, though it doesn't replace your textbook. From each chapter they give you the important questions as long essay, short essay, right? And the answers to these questions. So let us look at some of these. What is the Strung's conoid? Page 384. Let's look at this. You will see this where, guys, in astigmatic lens, right? So what do you understand here? This is the retina, this is the cornea. So this is within your eye, right? So there's a focus 1 here and a focal 2 here. So guys, this book has a lot of images also. So that is nice, right? Look at this. Medial rectus recession. So what are you going to do here? Recession means you're going to make the muscle weak, right? Weakening procedure, muscle recession. Then marginal myotomy. So there are other procedures to make the muscle weak. Interesting. You have myotomy, tenotomy, disinsertion, fade-in procedure. So a lot of procedures are there to weaken the muscles of the eye. In general, just look at this book. Nice. It can help you pass. Look at this local anesthesia, O'Brien method, 2 centimeter below the temporomandibular joint. Where exactly are they inserting here? This is ciliary block. And this is the peribulbar and retrobulbar. Retrobulbar, very easy, it is behind the eye. Peribulbar is around. Okay, so this is peribulbar, this will be retrobulbar. Yes, do you want to look at something very specifically in this book? Let us see some more short answers. Let us see, what is this? Amaurosis fugax. Which chapter is this, by the way? Amaurosis fugax. Neuro-ophthalmology. Let's look at the answer to this question. Amaurosis fugax. So this was asked for how many marks? Short answer. So for 3 marks they've asked this question. So 387. Sudden temporary painless loss of vision in one eye due to transient failure of retinal circulation. So it's just a transient failure of retinal circulation for a few minutes, seconds. What is it? So here there is sudden temporary painless loss of vision. Temporary painless loss of vision, guys. So nothing will happen to this person. They'll get back their vision. So why does this happen? Embolus from carotid artery is most common, from the heart or the aorta. Vascular insufficiency due to atherosclerosis, hyperviscosity of blood. So blood is hyperviscous. Intraorbital tumor. So what should you do in this case? So what are the symptoms? We saw temporary loss of vision. So each attack lasts second to minute and resolves in reverse pattern, leaving no residual effect. So in these people you will see all these signs. Exactly, is it a scary thing or something should be done? So you should record the blood pressure, blood count, you should check the erythrocyte sedimentation rate to check the hyperviscosity, right? Fluorescein angiography. So these are the differentials. Papilledema, giant cell arteritis, CRVO. It's an impending CRVO. See, that's what it is, right? Something is going to happen kind of a thing. Impending CRVO, right? It can be glaucoma, retinal migraine. So people have visual loss, right, in migraine sometimes. So they have something called as a retinal migraine. Interesting. Vertebral artery dissection. So all these can cause what? The transient loss of vision because of transient failure of circulation, retinal circulation. Guys, do you want to look at the treatment also? Look at this. So you will ask them to lose weight because of that atherosclerosis, I think. Stop smoking because of you don't want vasoconstriction. Diabetes, hypertension, again all these retinopathies you will have. Hyperlipidemia to control again that embolus and heart disease and all that. Specifically you will tell them, you will give them low dose aspirin so the blood flow will not be affected, right? End arterectomy. Cardiac disease, again aspirin, anticoagulants they are giving. Cardiac surgery, if there is any cardiac surgery, calcium channel blockers, vasospastic. So at least if in the exam they ask you amaurosis fugax, you'll be able to answer now, right? Just let us look at how the examination questions are, okay? They will ask you in this recent examination, they have asked types of astigmatism, management of astigmatism. So what is the types of astigmatism? You have curvatural, positional astigmatism, index astigmatism, right? So curvatural, positional, index, right? Then you have another type of classification. You have regular astigmatism, irregular astigmatism. Again, in that you have simple, regular, compound, mixed. Simple means myopic, hypermetropic. Compound means myopic, hypermetropic. Same thing. Okay. And irregular, no special kind again under it. Okay. So you will have to understand all this. See, this is all you already know. No, see, one image is forming behind, before the retina. So this is simple myopic. This is simple. This is compound myopic because why is it compound myopic? It's behind the eye, then why is it myopic? I think this is wrong. What do you say? This is compound hypermetropic. Bad news, guys. Some mistakes are there in this book, looks like. Okay, then look at the next question they have asked. Clinical feature diagnosis of fungal corneal ulcer. That is the long question they have asked for 10 marks. Fungal corneal ulcer. Important, read it. You'll have to refer some other page for that. Okay. Then coming to tonometry. This is digital tension. You'll just put the finger and check. So if it is stony hard, it could be an absolute glaucoma. You remember all that? Right? What is this? Indentation tonometer. Truncated cone. Applanation tonometer. Simple flattening. So you will, this is a simple flattening by which you measure the intraocular pressure. Here there's an indentation tonometer. Okay. So you saw digital and indentation. Now look at applanation tonometry. Right here you have so many instruments. You have Goldman's applanation tonometer. Then you have Perkins pneumatic tonometer, pulse air tonometer, microelectric tonopen. So this is the Myers of the applanation tonometer. Stained Myers of applanation tonometer. Guys, we are just taking a review of this book, solved question paper. We are looking at kind of the latest question paper, what and all they had asked for an MBBS undergraduate level. They asked complicated cataract. Complicated cataract is what, guys? After any intraocular disease like uveitis, you will get complicated cataract, right? So after uveitis, after retinitis pigmentosa, after some any other problem like myopic, pathological myopia, etc. So this basically again same thing. You'll have to remove the lens and put an IOL, and you'll also obviously have to control the causing disease. See, question number 5, they have asked allergic conjunctivitis, guys. So basically, allergic conjunctivitis, what will you write? Causes will be hay fever, pollen, dust, pet animals, local drugs also. Guys, then they have asked acute iridocyclitis. So that is nothing but acute anterior uveitis. You will write that, we hope. Then factors responsible for maintaining intraocular pressure. Why is intraocular pressure maintained at a certain level, like between 10 and 21, right? So if you want to know the answer, it is the rate of the aqueous formation and obviously the resistance to the aqueous outflow. So they have shown diagram here. So you have two outflows. You have the trabecular meshwork outflow and then the uveoscleral outflow. So they are talking about one more thing here, episcleral venous pressure. So the venous pressure also will help in maintaining the IOP. So the other things like dilation of pupil, local mechanisms. Pressure from outside, guys. If you want to know the answer to this question, focus here. So the dilatation of the pupil, changes in the solid content of eye, pressure from outside also can decide your IOP. General factors like if you have refractive errors. So myopic individuals have higher IOP, right? Most people, we are myopic, right, in medical college. So higher IOP. All students usually wear this myopic glasses, concave. Hereditary also can influence your IOP. Okay, that and all you will write. Age, sex, diurnal variation. So diurnal variation will be there, right? When is the intraocular pressure high? It is high in the morning and in the late evening. In the afternoon it will be less. Okay. Then postural variation of IOP can be there. Seasonal variation, respiratory and heartbeat, blood pressure, osmotic pressure of blood, anesthetic drugs, exercise. Guys, we are trying to look at the latest ophthalmology question paper from the university, and also we are looking at the answer to the question. Let us see what else they have asked in this. They have asked vitreous hemorrhage in the latest question paper. They are asking vitreous hemorrhage, guys. It is bleeding in and around vitreous. Okay. So you have the source of the blood will be new vessels which are growing into the vitreous, proliferative retinopathy, retinal blood vessels or ciliary blood vessels. These can leak. Types you have pre-retinal, intravitreal. I think we will stop here, not go into too many details, right? So basically short answers, I think this is something you should read. Myelinating diseases. Can you answer this question? 3 demyelinating diseases. Just write off 3, okay? Multiple sclerosis, Devick's disease, Schilder's disease. That is neuromyelitis optica, diffuse sclerosis. Multiple sclerosis, diffuse sclerosis, at least you'll get 2 marks. And you have to write all these extra things. If you write, you will get full 3 marks, okay? They've asked about pannus, guys. What pannus is? This is neovascularization, right? This is mainly seen at upper limbus and upper part of cornea. Remember, this will happen when? When will you see pannus, guys? Do you remember? Progressive pannus, regressive pannus, trachoma. Very good, trachoma. I think it's sufficient, guys. We have looked at a lot of questions of ophthalmology which have been asked in the university exam. So if you want, you can consider this book, okay? Bye-bye.